Hello there! In today's video I want to take a short look at my fossil collection. Now I'm going to take the term fossil very loosely. It's not just going to be paleontology, also a little bit of archaeology, maybe a few nice stones. Let's just see what happens. Let's start off with a few mammoth bones. This is the shoulder blade of a woolly mammoth. I bought this at a museum for I believe it was €2. They had like a huge pile of those things. From the same museum I also got this mammoth bone, and I don't really do much with it, but I still like having it around. Also, from the bottom of the ocean, they got me this, which is the bone of a horse. It's probably 1/3 of the bone and it's still the same size as half my arm. How big are those horses? Next up, let's take a look at some, I don't know, dinosaur stuff, I guess. This is the tooth of a Spinosaurus. I'm very happy with that fossil and my parents got it for me for, I believe it was my birthday a few years ago. Next up is the eggshell from a Titanosaurus. This animal lived in late Cretaceous about 85 million years ago. Now a short look at some fossils that I found. There's a very small shark tooth, which I believe is from a dog shark, I believe it's called. There's also a few pieces of coral. Next up, let's take a short look at a few fossils that I've found myself in Sweden. This, I believe, is a crinoid, it's what it's called. I have a few more interesting ones, but I'll just show them on a picture. Next up, shark teeth. Sadly, I don't have a megalodon tooth yet. It's probably my priority of fossils that I'd love to own someday, but as of right now, no, not yet. I do have all of these teeth though, and I have absolutely no clue what kind of species any of these are. I also have, it may not show up on camera very well, but it's a lot of shark teeth from all kinds of species. But sadly, it's not very easy to read. Next up, some more that I found myself. I have this one with a shell on the inside, and this, what I believe to be a bone. Next up, some bottom dwellers. This is my trilobite. At 410 million years old, this is probably the oldest thing that I own. I've been told that it kind of looks like a turd, but I'm very happy with it. Another species that's very old is this spinfer species. It's 390 million years old. It was some kind of mollusk, I believe, that was stuck to some kind of rock and filled with water. Next up, something man-made. These two are arrowheads. These are about from the year 7000 before Christ, I believe. So that would be after the Ice Age. Next, let's take a look at all of my ammonites. I have quite a few. It's 160 million years old. And ammonites were squids that lived in the shell and traveled throughout the ocean. I have a few more that I'll show up on the screen. Next, let's look at my Mosasaurus tooth. Here we have it. It's a very small tooth, but the creature itself was quite long. I believe it was like 12 meters long. This tooth in particular is 70 million years old. I used to have about 3, but these sea reptiles never really were very special to me for some reason, so sadly now I only have 1. I also have a bunch of pretty shells that aren't actually fossils, but I came across them and I think they're still pretty neat. Next up is my fish. As you may be able to see, it's not really alive anymore. It's a bony fish that died about 150 million years ago from the species Leptolopis spratiformis. And once again, I cannot pronounce Latin names. Next up, I have this rock, which I'm just going to try and show. But basically, there's a lot of different shells and fossils in it. And a picture wouldn't really do much good, as you really have to look at it, so sorry. Next up are these tiny shells, which I believe are tiny sea urchins from long ago. You can just easily find these on the beach, but I own them, I like them, why not put them in? Also with shark teeth, it's not a fossil, but let's go on a little journey. I have these ones above my door, and I cannot take them down. Sorry. Why is this video so disappointing? Anyway, next up is my Orthocera species, which, just like ammonites, are squids, but these ones live in kind of a longer cone shell. And I just realized that I've been wrong. These are actually 500 million years old, so these are the oldest fossils that I own. Kind of a change in the lore right here of my fossil collection, but yeah, let's now take a short look at some cool rocks that I own. First off is this one, this shiny silvery rock, some purple mountain crystal, some more mountain crystal, some rocks that if you cleave them there's bluestone inside, another one, and a very pretty one that kind of looks like snow on the inside. Here we have a bit of amethyst. And finally, something that's not a rock, we have this old pipe. But we'll see that one a bit later. Next up, just a few random shells. A tiny cone, a broken shell that looks like a piece of candy. These Cyprera annulus from Papua New Guinea. The people in Papua use these to buy pigs or women, but I just own them because they're pretty. Next up we have this Planexus succatus, which was born in 1870. It's a black and white striped shell that you can find in Thailand. Finally, I don't think any of this counts as fossils. Here we have the lower beak of a heron, I believe it's called. The lower jaw of some kind of sheep. A very pretty shell with mother of pearl on the inside. I don't know exactly what species it is, but if I can find it, I'll put it down here. The lower jaw of a spoonbill bird, which kind of looks like a spoon. Some more pipes. An old shell that I got from a friend of mine in the mountains of Sweden, where he just found them in the backyard. And this very big shell with small pieces of other shells on the inside. So, what kind of fossils would I like to have? Well, first of all, of course, the tooth of a megalodon. Second of all, if I could have anything, it would probably be the egg of an elephant bird, which is not very ancient, but still looks very cool. It's a shame that those are dead. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoy. And please give me ideas of any more fossils that I should have. And no Tyrannosaurus Rex, I don't have the budget.